Hola, hola, hola guys, it's me and I'm coming to you today with this very simple, easy to do tutorial, as you can see in the video, when wearing a mask. I know a lot of us, obviously the whole world is wearing masks these days, and a lot of us have really cut down on wearing makeup and sometimes not even wearing makeup at all. I know that there's some people who dare say, why wear makeup? What's the point? No one sees it, blah, blah, blah. Listen, I love makeup, and for people who love makeup, we're gonna wear it with a mask or without a mask. The only difference is that we're not gonna put on so much crap. So I'm just gonna show you what I do personally, which is very minimal, but you obviously see a difference that, you know, you're looking, you know, picked up, you're looking good, even though you have to wear a mask. So if you are not quite experienced in makeup, if you're a beginner, I think that this little mini tutorial is actually something that you can benefit from, especially since we can get away with, you know, lack of makeup or learning to do makeup because we have the mask going on. And if you want to put some lipstick underneath, wear some lipstick. Who cares? I've heard a lot of people say, what's the point of wearing lipstick? Like, who wears lipstick under a mask? I wear my lipstick under a mask. And yes, it is going to be matte lipstick that does not budge. Obviously, I'm not gonna wear a regular lipstick that's gonna, you know, rub off or anything like that. But you know what? I like wearing it. I don't care who doesn't see it. I know it's there, and that's what makes me look good. So I like to think of it as, you know, like us who, you know, us ladies who we like to wear, you know, our lacy little panties and lacy little bras, you know, and we wear it to work. It's not like anyone's gonna see it at work, right? Like, why wear lacy cute stuff to work, right? Well, because it makes me feel good and I know it's there. So it's the same thing about makeup, and we're gonna go right into it. Okay, so first things first, you're always, as usual, always gonna put on your skincare. So you're gonna follow your skincare routine that you usually do. I've already done that: wash, moisturize. I've used my serum, my essence, and all that stuff. So I'm going to, instead of using primer, I'm going to be using the Becca Zero No Pigment Virtual Foundation, even though it should not be called foundation because it is definitely not foundation. But I'm going to use this on my face, and I have been using this lately as kind of sort of my skincare and just having my face prepped. I usually don't use anything else after this. This is kind of like what I'm going to be, I guess, finalizing my face. So I'm just gonna be putting this all over my face because you definitely want to take care of all of your skin. Okay, so I let that sink in and do its job, and while I am waiting for my skin to pretty much soak up the Becca, whatever we'll call it, you put on, I'm just going to fill my eyebrows in a little bit. Excuse the brows because they need to be threaded so bad, but just gonna work on them a little bit. So just so you know, in case I know I have like the mother of all pimples down there, y'all, and I don't know if you see it, but I also have a mark on my lips. Let me tell you, so this week we were giving food away. My church, we were giving away food to the community. So what was left over, whatever, we had took a box home. So in the box there were some, you know, some essentials for us, which was wonderful. It was a godsend for us. And one of the products was actually a bag of hard-boiled eggs, which we initially thought was cheese, but it was not. Hard-boiled eggs. I'm like, oh, okay, cool, hard-boiled eggs, you know, they were cold, so, you know, eat them cold or whatever. So they were pretty good cold, and then all of a sudden I was like, I kind of want to eat one warm, so I stuck one in the microwave. Now listen, if you already know what's gonna happen, listen, I did not know that this is gonna happen. So this is like the first time like ever. So don't say I told you so. So yeah, so I go to stick one in the microwave. So I leave it like total of 30 seconds. And the reason I left it that way was I did like maybe 10-15 seconds or something on one side, and then the other side it was still cool, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna rotate it, you know, microwave the rest. And all of a sudden, y'all, I take it out and it's nice and hot, whatever, and I bit into the thing I'm telling you, and it blew up. Like, it literally, it sounded like a balloon popped, a huge balloon. It blew up in my mouth. And I laugh about it now, but at the time I was such in pain because it was just this rush of hot steam, like just blew in my mouth, and it burned all of my mouth. Like, all my lips were red and my gums. It was terrible. And then this was a blister, which is now kind of healing. But yeah, so that's what that is. So my lips were like absolutely on fire. It was just burning and throbbing, and when all was said and done and my skin, you know, calmed down a little and my mouth calmed down, it was just so burned. Like, it must have been like 1st degree burns, y'all, because even my gums, like, now they're much better. Like, you don't see anything, but I had like the skin on my gums was actually peeling. So I'm like, this was probably a 1st degree burn that I literally did to myself. So next time what I will be doing is I will be Googling if I can do anything. What can I do? Well, now I know, don't you know, microwave a hard-boiled egg. Just don't do it, y'all. But I didn't know that, so okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and put on some primer. So I'm gonna be using the Ulta Beauty Matte Eye Primer, and I'm just gonna put a little bit. And you know, I actually do like this primer because it actually does help with discoloration, and it just makes it nice overall. So I'm going to just put a little bit on here. We're gonna put on a little bit of eyeshadow. Again, because this is just a little simple tutorial that you're gonna be using, you know, when you're using a mask. And I kind of feel like, you know, if you're gonna use a mask, the least that you can do, which is gonna help out a lot, is just to accentuate your eyes a little bit. You can put a little bit of eye makeup on. You know, we don't have to be, I mean, like I said, you don't have to be serious about lipstick or anything, you know, if you know that no one is going to be looking at your lips or whatever. You know, ultimately that's your decision if you're going to put on a lip product. But yeah. Okay, so for today's palette, I'm going to be using the Going Coconuts palette from ColourPop. Here are the colors if you have not seen the palette for some reason. And I like this palette because this is more of a cool tone palette, and it's a very safe palette. I mean, neutrals are just safe, especially if you are, you know, just venturing into makeup, or if you just want something simple because you're gonna go step out or whatever. So this has lately been my go-to, especially when I'm going to work on a Monday where I don't feel like putting on anything. Then I'll put on some nice neutrals because you really just cannot go wrong with neutrals. So I'm going to start with the color Shredded. Can you see that? And I'm going to start with that one. And this is just one of the double-ended brushes from Huda Beauty. And you know, it's funny because I've had these brushes sitting here for so long, and I really did not start using them until lately, like as of late. And I actually like the brushes. They're nice and fluffy and they're soft, and they actually do blend the colors really well of your eyeshadow. So that's what I'm going to be using today. Just this one and a trusty old blending brush that I have. So now that I've set down the color really quickly, or it's not even color, I'm just, you know, just setting it a little better. So I'm going to go ahead and go in with, what should I do? Lovely Bunch, which is this color right here. And I'm just gonna get some of that product. And I'm gonna start from the outer corner ever so lightly with the most lightest touch ever, because you're just getting a little touch of color in there. So you see, I'm just lightly building up the color. And I'm just going to be kind of like doing a windshield wiper motion. And I'm doing my little circular circles in the outer corner of my eye and just bringing that in so that that can be softly blended. And then from there, you're just gonna start blending the color and bringing it upward a little bit. And if you want to see, usually when you want to see where the placement of the shadow is going, I like to look straight ahead and try not to close your eyes when you're putting on your makeup, because you tend to miss exactly where the placement is going to be. So I like to do it with my eyes open so that I see where the color is. Although sometimes out of habit, I do catch myself, you know, closing it a little bit, but for the most part, you're gonna want to look down a little bit in an angle and just keep your eyes open. Okay, so I'm going to go in with Colada and Shell Yeah, which are these two colors right here. And I'm going to mix those up just a little bit. And I'm going to be doing the same thing, which is just putting it in the crease and just doing the same technique, just building up the color. Those little circular motions. So you can kind of see now that the color is really starting to build up, so it's looking nice and natural, but obviously you have some makeup going on, so you're not, you know, you're not overdone or anything, but you do have a nice natural look going on. And then again, just going a little bit up and go blending, and you're going to be obviously looking at the mirror, so you want to look at the mirror, which is like I like doing, to make sure that they look as similar as possible. Okay, so now that I've done that, I'm going to go into the darkest color, which is Nutty, right here. And again, I'm going to do the same thing, taking a little bit of that shadow, and I'm just going to be setting it right here, or packing it a little bit. So of course, with any dark colors, you want to be careful. It's always better to put on a little bit and slowly build it up than to come out with a whole bunch and then you do a mistake, because obviously it's going to be a little harder to correct. So you want to be careful with using a more darker shade. And as you can see, I'm not really going crazy all over the place. I'm just kind of concentrating in the outer corner of the eye. And then once I feel like that's to my liking, then I'll blend it a little more. And I'm also going to actually drag a little bit on the bottom lash line. Do that, and then I'll do the same for the other eye. So just showing you again, I'm doing the same thing on the other side, just packing in that brown here on the outer crease. And I'm going to be just doing the same thing, just blending that in and forming that shape. Okay, so now I'm just taking a blending brush and I'm just blending out. Not too much, because I don't want it to turn muddy. So I'm just blending a little bit. Now, if you want to leave the look here, you can. There's some people who don't like to use shimmers. I, however, am going to use a shimmer, and I'm going to actually use a shimmer that's in this palette as well. So the shimmer that I'm going to be using is going to be Cocoa Crush, which is this nice little champagne-y shimmer right there. And I'm just going to take my little pinky finger and just lightly tap on the lid. And this, of course, you could put a little bit, you can put a lot, but I really like this shimmer. It's just really pretty. So you can see you have that little pop of shimmer on the eyelid. Okay, so now I'm just gonna go back with the Huda brush, which has the brown colors that I was using, and I just want to really lightly just go back over the crease a little bit so that there's not so much fallout from the glitter. And then once I do that, then I'm gonna go back again with my blending brush, and again just go here in the corner and just blend a little bit on top. Not too much, just to make it a little bit softer. Okay, so I'm done with the eyeshadow. I'm gonna put on some mascara in a bit, but I just want to put on some concealer. I'm not gonna be putting on foundation, like I said, because this is a tutorial when you're going, you know, to wear a mask. And just foundation, you know, it really defeats the purpose because the mask is gonna, you know, take all of it off pretty much, unless you're okay with just putting foundation around here. But I'm just gonna be using concealer. And you don't have to put on 5 million pounds of concealer. You really don't. A little bit goes a long way. So you're gonna use, you know, whatever favorite that you like, but I have been using this one a lot as of late. This is the Maybelline New York Fit Me concealer, and this is in the color Fair. And I don't know, I've been using it a lot because I guess because it's nice and creamy. And it doesn't really give a heavy coverage thing going on. It just gives a nice medium coverage. So I'm just gonna go ahead and use that. I'm gonna use my doe foot applicator, and I'm only going to be putting a little bit in the corner, and that's about it. I know maybe you're like, well, you know, we're so used to seeing people put on like a whole bunch of concealer, but you really don't. I'm not going to be using a sponge, a blending sponge, but I'm going to be using this brush. This is from who? This is from Complex Culture. This is the Precision brush, and I'm going to be using this. And this is a nice little brush because I like the triangular shape because it really gets into under your eye. And what I'm just going to be doing is exactly what I'm doing right now. I'm going to be just putting this under the eye, and I like this because you can clean up whatever you've done, so you can just use this to go up and it cleans any leftover eyeshadow that may have fallen or any glitter or anything like that. And I'm just pretty much lightly just dabbing the brush. And this is really all I'm going to be doing. Obviously, you want to build it up, you can build it up if you want, but if you can see from both eyes, you can definitely see a difference, that the eye already looks a little more illuminated and it looks a little more, you know, awakened. You look a little more put together, and you don't have to put so much foundation. Like really, with that little bit of foundation, you really do see the difference from this side. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. Just a little bit of concealer right there, as you can see, and do the same thing with the brush. Go and just dab that in a little bit in the area where I need it, and then I'm just again with my brush just clean upwards, and that's to clean off any eyeshadow or anything like that. I also tend to put a little bit like on the sides of the nose, just so that it looks a little more blended together. And sometimes I will do the top of the nose, which is what I'm doing, and I'm really just using whatever's left over on the brush from the concealer. Now again, if you feel like you need to add more, of course, you know, add more, because you know, no one knows your face better than you. But I don't want to put so much. Just want to put where I feel it's needed, since the mask is going to be covering everything else. And if you do feel like, if you know there might be a moment where you'll take off your mask, I wouldn't know why, but there might be a moment, you know, you want to cover up any imperfections that you have around your chin. Sometimes I do it around my chin as well. But yeah, this little, I shouldn't even say little, it's just a freaking big this pimple, but so I'm just gonna go ahead and just cover up a little bit of the redness here. And depending how I'm feeling that day as well, sometimes if I feel like I need it, I may put like a dot or so around here. You know, if I feel like there's little red spots that I feel can be covered a little bit, then I'll do that as well. So you're literally just, you know, treating the areas that you feel need a little bit of help that day. So that's what I'm doing right now around the eyebrows. Right here, this unibrow, which needs to go. Yeah. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some powder on in those areas, and I'm going to be using the Becca, what is this? The Becca, yeah, Set and Refresh powder. And I'm going to be using just a little brush like this. This is from e.l.f. And I'm just going to put a little bit of powder. And I like this powder, especially because it's very, very fine milled, very thin. So it does not add up and cake up on your face. So this is why I'm using it. And I'm going to just lightly powder or lightly dust the areas where I put concealer. I'm going to put some around the nose. And what I like about this powder as well is that this definitely helps your nose with pores or things like that, or any type of, you know, less than pretty thing that you find on your face. I kind of feel like this powder helps, you know, hide it. So I'm just gonna be doing that as well. See, so I'm already like picked up, looking, you know, looking okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and curl my lashes and put on some mascara. Okay, so the mascara that I put on is from Lily Lashes. So this is the Lily Lashes XXX mascara. So what's next? Okay, so I'm just gonna put on a little bit highlighter. Again, this is your personal preference, but you know, the mask sometimes, you know, some masks, depending what you're wearing, you can see some of that. So I'm gonna be using from Ciate London, their highlight, and this is in the color Moon Dust. And I'm just gonna be taking this fluffy dance brush here, and I'm just going to, you know, generously put on, and you can see that shine, which is, that's why this is like one of my favorite highlighters. You can put some highlighter up here, obviously, because again, you know, we want to concentrate on here up, you know, and not so much on the bottom. So yeah, so I'm just gonna finish up and put this highlighter. And I'm going to put just a little bit of highlighter here. Sometimes I put it here in the, you know, the ball of the nose, which I did put, but I try not to because, you know, the mask is gonna rub it off anyway. But you can just put it right here in between, almost where your eyes are, and you can put it also on top of the eyes, or, you know, on top of the eyebrows, and that will help out as well. So now with the little bit of powder that was left on the top of my translucent powder that I was using, I'm just gonna use it again to just set, you know, the little bit of makeup that I have on my face. And I'm just gonna be using this big fluffy brush from the same brand, Complex Culture, and I'm just gonna swirl what's left on here, which really isn't too much. Oh, my mirror died. And I'm just going to pretty much concentrate on here, on the nose, under the eyes. And I do typically put on my face, I mean, it's translucent powder, so it's not a big deal. So there you have it, guys. Here is my look for when you are wearing a mask. As you can see, it totally looks like I spent time, you know, doing my makeup. I have a full face of makeup, but in reality, we both know that I do not. I would usually put on a lip, even if it was nude. Sometimes I don't, it really depends. Primarily on my mood, but a lot of times I do put on lipstick. But in this occasion, I am not putting anything. I just put on some good old chapstick because, like I said, of the little burn that's on my lips. So I kind of want to keep them free from any lip products other than chapstick today. But as you can see, here's the look, and I love this look because it's simple, it's easy. You can wear it with or without a mask. You can wear to go to work, whatever you need to do, going out for errands. This look is perfect. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video and enjoyed this look. And yeah, be safe, guys, and you are, you know, ready to go and hang out, you know, with your mask. Wear your mask, people. Be safe. So I will see you guys next time. I'll see you guys in the next video. Adios.